Scene 1, a desert place. Enter 3 witches.
When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Along the hearth.
There to meet with Macbeth.
There
is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
They exit.
Scene 2, a camp near Forres. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt.
Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood. The merciless MacDonald, the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles of kerns, and gallows glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
Go get him surgeons.
Exit sergeant, attended. Enter Ross.
God save the king!
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Belladonna's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point rebellious, and, to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
They exit. Scene 3, a heath near Forres. Enter 3 witches.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine?
Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here, I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
Enter Macbeth and Banquo.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it, Forres? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire? They look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things do sound so fair? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
Hail.
Hail!
Lesser than Macbeth, but greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinald's death, I know I am fame of Glons, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence. Speak, I charge you.
Witches vanish.
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
Enter Ross.
The king hath happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success. I am sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, and for an earnest of a great honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor.
To Banquo.
Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
'Tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence.
Cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my unseated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature?
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
No, give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king.
Very gladly.
They exit.
Scene 4, Forres, the palace. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, and attendants.
Is execution done on Cawdor?
My liege, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, and Ross.
Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. More is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself.
Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me unfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. Signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else, or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires.
They exit. Scene 5. Inverness, Macbeth's castle. Enter Lady Macbeth, reading a letter.
When I burned to question further, they vanished. Then came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, along with Hail, King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner, that thou mightest not be ignorant of what greatness promised. Lambs thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised, yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. Fate, metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned with all.
Enter a messenger.
What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost, dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending, he brings great news.
Exit messenger.
The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits, unsex me, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold.
Enter Macbeth.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, and by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hands, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Leave all the rest to me.
They exit. Scene 6. Before Macbeth's castle. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Ross, and attendants.
This castle hath a pleasant seat.
Heaven's breath smells wooingly here. I have observed the air is delicate.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
See, our honored hostess.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, were poor and single business contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him.
Exeunt. Scene 7, Macbeth's castle. Torches. Enter servants with dishes, who pass over the stage. Then enter Macbeth.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, setting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We failed, but through your courage, taking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a few, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other? As we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
They exit. Scene 8, Court of Macbeth's castle. Enter Banquo and Fleance, bearing torch before him.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
Enter Macbeth with a torch.
Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
Exit Banquo and Fleance.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as that which I now draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade, and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half-world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarmed by this sentinel, the wolf howls his watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
He exits. Scene 9, the same. Enter Lady Macbeth.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked. Fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. Doors are open. Surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked. It's not done. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I'd have done it.
Enter Macbeth.
My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry.
Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh and sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, that they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep. One cried, God bless us, and Amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands listening their fear. I could not say Amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second curse, chief nourisher in a life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor, sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy Vane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If ye do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
They exit.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me?
Re-enter Lady Macbeth.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking. At the south entry, retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then?
They exit. Scene 10, the same. Enter a porter.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hillgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enow about you, here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name. Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
Opens the gate. Enter Macduff and Lennox.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing until the second cock.
Is thy master stirring?
Enter Macbeth.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Macduff exits.
The night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
It was a rough night.
Re-enter Macduff.
Oh, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Most sacrilegious murder!
What is it you say?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves.
Exit Macbeth and Lennox.
Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason!
Enter Lady Macbeth.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
O gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Enter Banquo.
Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Whoa, alas, what? In our house?
Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Re-enter Macbeth and Lennox with Ross.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead.
Enter Malcolm and Donalbain.
What is amiss?
Your royal father is murdered.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and their faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers.
Oh, yet do I repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. And there, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me, hands. Oh.
She faints.
Look to the lady!
Lady Macbeth is carried out.
Let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So
No
all,
all.
let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Exit all but Malcolm and Donalbain.
What will you do? I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separate fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles.
They exit. Scene 11. Outside Macbeth's castle. Enter Ross and Macduff.
It's known who did this more bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, the day! What good could they pretend?
They were suborned, Malcolm and Donalbain. The king's 2 sons are stolen away and fled, which puts them upon suspicion of the deed.
'Gainst nature still, thriftless ambition that wilt raven up thine own life means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
They exit. Scene 12. Forres, the palace. Enter Banquo.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis all, as the weird women promised. And I fear thou hast played most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There come truth from them. But hush, no more.
Enter Macbeth as king, Lady Macbeth as queen, Lennox, Ross, lords, ladies, and attendants.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my lord.
I wish your horses swift and sure-foot. Farewell.
Exit all but Macbeth and an attendant.
Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us.
Exit attendant.
To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my gripe. Thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue I have filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered. To make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings? Rather than so come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance. Who's there?
Re-enter attendant with murderers 1 and 2.
Now go to the door and stay there till we call.
Exit attendant.
Have you considered my speeches? Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down, and thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
Exit murderers.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorry fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should have indeed have died with them they think on? What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it.
Gentle, my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial amongst our guests tonight.
So I shall, love, and so, I pray, be you.
Exit. Scene 13, a park near the palace. Enter 3 murderers.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there. Ho!
Then 'tis he. The rest are already here in the court.
His horses go about.
A light! A light!
Enter Banquo and Fleance with a torch.
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
They set upon Banquo.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly! 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 Oh, thou mayest revenge! O slave!
Banquo
Gah!
flees. Fleance escapes.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
Exit. Scene 14, the same. Hall in the palace. A banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants. First murderer appears at the door.
Be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink a measure the table round.
Macbeth approaches the murderer at the door.
There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats, yet he's good that did the like for Fleance.
Most royal sir, Fleance is escaped.
But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides.
Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
Exit murderer.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
May it please your highness, sit.
The ghost of Banquo enters and sits in Macbeth's place.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy glory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise! His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends, pray you, keep seat. It is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Heed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Why do you make such faces? You look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there, behold, look, lo!
Ghost of Banquo vanishes.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Aye, for shame.
The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crown and push us from our stools.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill. Full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table.
Our duties and the pledge.
Re-enter Ghost of Banquo.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence!
Ghost of Banquo vanishes.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sight and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
Exit all but Macbeth and Lady Macbeth.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst. Yet I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
They exit. Scene 15, a heath. Enter the three witches meeting Hecate.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Bedlams as you are, saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part? But make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron, meet me in the morning, thither he will come to know his destiny. Hark, I am called, my little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud, and stays for me.
They exit. Scene 16. Forest. The palace. Enter Lennox and another lord.
I hear Macduff lives in disgrace, sir. Can you tell me where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due birth, lives in the English court. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king, upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above, to ratify the work, we may begin again to give our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets, bloody knives, do faithful homage, and receive free honors. All which we pine for now, and this report hath so exasperate the kings, that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute, sir, not I, the cloudy messenger turns me his back.
And that well might advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide.
They exit. Scene 17. A cavern. In the middle, a boiling cauldron. Enter the three witches.
Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake.
Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog.
There's fork and blindworm sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. Double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Enter Hecate to the three other witches.
Oh, well done! I commend your pains, and everyone shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, live elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
Hecate retires.
I the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
Deed without
name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me.
Speak.
Demand.
will answer.
Say, if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow. Grease that sweatin' from the murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame. Come
high or low, thyself and offerings deftly show.
First ghost appears. It is an armed head.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
The ghost disappears.
Whate'er thou art for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
Will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Second ghost appears. It is a bloody child.
Macbeth, 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 be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born may harm Macbeth.
The second ghost disappears.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee?
Third ghost appears. It is a child crowned with a tree in his hand.
What is this that rises like the issue of a king?
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
The third ghost disappears.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good, yet tell me, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you.
Show.
Show
Show his
his
eyes.
eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
A line of 8 kings appear, the last with a glass in his hand, ghost of Banquo following.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down, thy crown to sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth, start, eyes, what, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his.
The kings vanish.
What? Is it so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth so amazedly?
The witches dance and then vanish with Hecate.
Where are they? Gone. Come in without there.
Enter Lennox.
I did hear the galloping of a horse. Who came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
I fled to England.
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in this line.
They exit. Scene 18. Fife, Macduff's castle. Enter Lady Macduff, her son, and Ross.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl.
Cruel are the times. I take my leave of you.
He exits.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
And the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers they know to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey.
Enter murderers.
What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain!
What? You egg?
Stabbing the son.
He has killed me, mother! Run away, I pray you!
The son dies. Exit Lady Macduff, crying murder. Exit murderers following her. Scene 19. England. Before the king's palace. Enter Malcolm and Macduff.
Let us hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men, bestride our downfallen birthdom. Each new morn, new windows howl, new orphans cry. New sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like a syllable of dolor.
This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge.
Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest, for the whole space that's in thy tyrant's grasp.
Be not offended. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. But, for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, but there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust, and my desire all continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such an one to reign.
We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves. Finding it so inclined, this avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust. O Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am, as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Enter Ross.
See, who comes here?
My countrymen. Good God, betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Stands Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps.
Be it their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier none that Christendom give out.
Would I consider answer this comfort with the like? But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares the same woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
All my pretty ones? Did you say all?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. Gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself, within my sword's length set him.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready.
Exit. Scene 20. Dunsinane, anteroom in the castle. Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper, sleepwalking.
Out. Damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and afeard? What need we fear? Who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I'll tell you yet again, Banquo's buried, and not come out on's grave. To bed, to bed. He's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
He exits. Scene 21. Dunsinane, a room in the castle. Enter Macbeth, Satan, and attendants.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all, till Burnham Wood removed to Dunsinane. I cannot taint with fear. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scare the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Exit. Scene 22. Tree near Burnham Wood. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, Menteith, Angus, Lennox, Ross, and soldiers marching.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery ere and report of us.
It shall be
Shall
done.
be done.
They exit, marching. Scene 23. Dine within the castle. Macbeth, Satan, and soldiers. Colors.
Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here, let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. What is that noise?
Why, it is the cry of women, my good lord.
He exits.
The time has been, my senses would have blared to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me.
Re-enter Satan.
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury signifying nothing.
Enter a messenger.
Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Within this 3 mile you may see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
I begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm, arm, and out! Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
They exit. Scene 24. Dunsinane, before the castle. Enter Macbeth.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course.
Enter Macduff.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
They fight.
Thou losest labor, as easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely writ.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward!
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse, though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou opposed be of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold enough.
They exit, fighting. Enter, with colors, Malcolm, Seward, Ross, the other thanes, and soldiers.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt.
And he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to a fairer death.
Re-enter Macduff with Macbeth's head.
Hail, king, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail,
King
of
Scotland.
My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth, be earls the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace we will perform in measure, time, and place. So, thanks to all at once, and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.